Okay, so let's try a little thought experiment. Imagine you're scrolling online looking for a new gig, and you come across a job posting for a director of operations. Sounds pretty impressive, right? But as you start reading the details, you realize this isn't just any job.
First off, you've got to be on your feet pretty much all day. The workload? It's listed at 135 plus hours a week, but let's be real, it's a 24/7 role. And get this, no breaks, no vacations, ever. In fact, when the holidays roll around, your workload actually gets heavier. Oh, and you also need to be a world-class expert in medicine, finance, and the culinary arts. It's an impossible list of qualifications.
So after you read this absolutely insane list of demands, you're probably thinking exactly what I'm thinking. A job this grueling, this all-consuming, it must come with a mind-blowing salary, right? I mean, the compensation has to be just astronomical.
The salary is zero. Zilch. Nada. You get paid absolutely nothing for this round-the-clock superhuman effort. It is 100% unpaid.
So the question becomes, who on earth would ever sign up for this? Who would willingly take on what is arguably the most demanding job in the world with zero pay, no time off, and just an endless list of responsibilities? Well, the answer is billions of people don't just take this job. They do it with this incredible, profound sense of purpose. We call them moms, and of course, dads and guardians too. They take on this impossible role, not for a paycheck, but for something so much more valuable, the relationship they have with their children. And you know, this unbelievable, selfless role, it's not a new thing. In fact, its importance was written down, codified, in one of the most ancient and influential texts in the world, over 3,500 years ago. This is the Fifth Commandment, right, from the book of Exodus. And it's not just some casual suggestion, it's a foundational instruction. So what makes its placement in the list so incredibly significant? Well, the Ten Commandments are actually structured beautifully. You can think of them in two halves. The first four are all about a person's relationship with God, basically how to love the divine. The last six, they're about our relationships with each other, how to love your neighbor. And this is where it all clicks. The command to honor your parents is number 5. It is the very first of the love your neighbor commands. It's like a bridge connecting the divine to the human. The text is basically suggesting that our first step in learning how to love other people, it begins right at home. The source material we're exploring today presents this really powerful idea to explain why. It asks us to think of parents as a kind of visible God. Okay, so what in the world does that mean? Well, it frames the relationship in this really fascinating way. On one hand, you have God, who is understood as invisible, the ultimate source of love, who we know through faith. But parents, they're visible. They're the first, most tangible channel through which a child experiences that love, that care. They're known through direct, everyday experience, becoming, in a way, God's representative on earth for that child. And this idea is actually echoed in other parts of Scripture. This verse from 1 John lays the logic out pretty clearly. How can you say you love an invisible God if you can't even manage to love the people you can actually see and interact with every single day? The source suggests our attitude toward our parents is a direct reflection of our attitude toward God. So what does it really mean to honor them? The original Hebrew word here, kabed, is so cool. It literally means to treat as heavy. You know, think about when you're carrying something really heavy. You can't be careless. You can't be flippant about it. You have to be deliberate and give it your full attention. So to honor someone means to give their words, their presence, their wisdom, real weight in your life. And this commandment, this call to give them weight, it isn't just about blind obedience. It's actually rooted in something much deeper, gratitude. It's a call to remember the sheer scale of the sacrifice that being a parent actually requires. I mean, just to put this into perspective, a newborn calf can stand up and walk in about an hour. A human baby, it takes about a year, and it requires constant, unbroken care just to survive. Parents so often put their own dreams on hold, sacrificing their ambitions, even their own identities. Suddenly they're known just as so-and-so's mom or so-and-so's dad. Honoring them is meant to be the natural response to this monumental gift of themselves. So, how do we actually do this? How do we take this big idea of honor and turn it into real, everyday actions? Well, the source material gives us 3 key ways.
First, listen to their guidance and don't belittle them. Treat their advice with that heaviness we just talked about. Second, this is an active command. So many commandments tell us what not to do. This one calls us to do something, to proactively work to bring our parents joy. And finally, and this might be the most important part, we're told to see this not as some kind of chore to earn points, but as the natural, grateful overflow of a heart that recognizes the immense love and sacrifice it has already received.
So we end with this question to reflect on. The core idea here isn't just about being nice to your parents. It's about seeing them as our first, most tangible connection to these huge concepts like unconditional love, sacrifice, and grace. If we really looked at them through that lens as a reflection of something divine, how might that fundamentally change our relationships and even our understanding of gratitude today?